Hey, what's up, guys? Coming at you with another video. I was watching a video from chevelle74us. He just purchased some Ernst wrench racks, and we were talking about socket organization. Now, he has the Harbor Freight 72-inch box, which are the drawers are a lot deeper than this 44-inch set. These drawers are like 15 and 7/8 inch deep, out of an 18-inch overall depth. And with me trying to organize, reorganize, reconfigure this doggone box, you know, all the pieces of organization that I've bought, I've essentially cast to the side, because it just took up entirely too much space. Things that I thought were, great products, great items, and whatnot, at the time that I bought them. Starting off with that 26-inch top and bottom, I bought that first. Then I bought the tool cart, and both of which, I immediately filled up. No sooner than I got them off my trailer, so eventually I bumped up to the 44-inch in hopes to be able to accommodate all that I had, and still ran out of room, very quickly. And these items, all took up so much space, that I end up, pulling them all out and setting them to the side, in hopes of putting them to use one day in future expansion. So the Ernst rails that he bought were similar to this style. Now these are the Cobalts. Again, the drawer depth is only 15 and 7/8 inches deep, and for me to be able to accommodate these long pattern wrenches, both sets of wrenches this way, these are way too long. And all the way in the back there is a 15/16 long pattern wrench. And that wrench is longer than the drawer is, this way in horizontal depth. So I couldn't go that way. So they both had to be side by side, so that was a no-go. All right, so I cast the Cobalts to the side. I went to Harbor Freight, and I got the plastic ones. If you ever try these, you know that they're really loose. The wrenches just, fall around. I even read the reviews and whatnot, but I bought them anyway because looking at the length of them, and I could have. If they were regular wrenches, I could accommodate two sets, in one drawer, but not with the long patterns. So that was a no-go. Set those to the side. Now, do they work in the cart? The cart has a little more space. It's how deep are those? 22 inches. It's like 19 inches long, from front to rear. So when making the socket organization for those, I started out with this 1/4-inch plywood. And what I did, I cut those for the first rails that I had, the 99-cent, raggedy ass steel rails, from Harbor Freight, just the basic bottom of the line. And these are 17 inches, so that gives me a 2-inch gap in the cart, so I could lift it out, and put it back in, with ease. So if you've seen in my other videos, I've got this aluminum scrap from work, and these are from Harbor Freight also. So it takes up a lot less of a footprint, so I can work with a little more space there. These to the side, had to cast those to the side. Next, I went and bought sets of these. These are the black rubberized ones from Harbor Freight. They fit a heck of a lot better. They grip a heck of a lot better, as you can see. But even still, because of the length of the long pattern wrenches, I still couldn't put them from front to rear. Still couldn't accommodate them, so that defeated the purpose. Even though they fit better, it still defeated the purpose. So I ended up going with just the coiled wire and whatnot. I know they make better ones now, that you can buy. But at the time, I had a boatload of wire, from, doing wiring in the house and whatnot, So I had that on hand, so it didn't cost me anything. So I just made those, configured those, and put the drawer together that way. Now that way, I had space to accommodate, all of the metrics, all of the standards, all in one drawer. For socket organization, I started out, this is a set of Cobalt, the Hanson Tray knockoffs. And they're good, and the pegs are nice and sturdy. But you can't put both of them, side by side. I had the metrics in the back and the standards in the front, and then it came in packs of 3. So putting those together front to rear, but then I had the axle nut sockets and other things that dealing with to accommodate. So like the Duralast set, and once I finally got swivel sockets, as I started adding on to the collection and whatnot, it got real cramped real fast. So I ended up pulling these out and going with individual socket rails. These I had bought at the time when I bought the cart. After I bought the cart, I hadn't even seen these before until I saw somebody else's video. I'm like, where the hell did those come from? It turns out Harbor Freight had them, and I used those. But even with these, you're limited in how many wrenches you can place in them, and these are designed for the freaking Allen wrenches. So you're limited in what you can use these for. What they're designed for. You have no flexibility because everything is built into it. It's static. It's nothing flexible. So I ditched those and whatnot. And worked around that because that constrains your space. These looked like a good idea at the time. But once you put them in your doggone box and whatnot, and see all the freaking space that it takes up, like holy smokes, man. So I end up ditching those. So everything's, just set in a pile and whatnot, And I bought this Touring wrench rack, because, hey, that's outstanding. And it's magnetic and this, that, and the other. But, again, if I had a 72-inch box or a 56-inch box with, 24-inch drawer length, I'd be good to go. So I've got this on the side, on the side of the box, so when I ever expand or get another wrench set, then I'll probably just toss those in there. So next I bought this tray from Home Depot or Lowe's. No, that's from Lowe's because it's a Touring, and that worked out pretty good. I started to buy another one for the metrics. These are all SAE. So I was going to get another one for the metrics, and then, just looking at the box and how much space, again, I didn't want to, go and spend, 25 or 30 bucks, on something that I was just going to throw into a doggone pile, So I started buying the individual rails piece by piece. This is the only one that I still use, because of the space and because they're 1/4 inches and it just happened to fit. These are just a trash reminder and shit, 61006. Let me see. 820 2000. Working on a doggone Chrysler. Never again. Never forget. Great necks. Pieces of garbage. So these are all individual rails from Home Depot, and I could add pegs, and these pegs, from the Harbor Freight set also fit on here. They're not really interchangeable. You got to, make them work and whatnot. It takes a little bit of effort, just a little bit, but you can get them done. These are the Hyper Tough from Walmart. These are limited, because this is the color of the 3/8 drive. The half inch probably is like orange, and the 1/4 inch are like blue, I think. So if you want to, maintain orange for standard, blue for metric, hey, Chevelle, you kind of follow that Duralast pattern and whatnot, black or blue for standard and red for metric. Everybody else does it the opposite. But at any rate, the Harbor Freight ones you recognize, I'm sure. And that is the Cobalt one. I left that one there. These right here cost me $6.99 each. These were the cheapest, well, the second cheapest. These from Walmart were just over $5.50, $5.47 or something like that. You know, they were under $6, but they were more than these. This set are locking wrench rails or socket rails, and these are from Home Depot, but they're not in the tool section. These are designed for a pegboard, hang on a pegboard, you know, but they were cheaper than the ones that are meant for a toolbox, you know. So once I happened to run across those, I started buying these until they ran out. You know, I don't know if they make them anymore, but the store, my location was out of them, and I'd have to go to the next county over, you know, to another store that, you know, had a bunch of them in stock. You know, and it wasn't that serious or anything like that. You know, so I was buying them individually, or 2 or 3 at a time and whatnot. You know, again, the Home Depot in the auto section for $7 versus $5.30. You know, for the pegboard style. And I like those. They're thicker, you know, they stand up. I use the thinner ones, you know, to accommodate the deep wells. These are fine for shallows and mid lengths, you know. So that's what I was working with, you know. That's how I came about this configuration, you know. And then, of course, making my own. Hey, shout out to Top Running out of storage on my SD card. I'm gonna have to dump some older footage. So that is my thing about, you know, my socket storage or tool storage and tool organization situation, and the reason that I configured the box the way that I did. All right, guys, appreciate your viewing. Go check out chevelle74us. It's got a kick-ass Dodge Dart, I think it is, old school ride and whatnot. You know, it's in really good shape. And he takes some rides around the countryside of New York. So go check him out. Give him some support. All right, guys. Talk to you later.